Hi there everybody, I'm Abby, this is Sunny D Writes. Today we're going to be talking about the basic character. This includes things like character role, goals and motivations, physical appearance, and personality. It's important to develop your character holistically first. This means you want to make sure that all of the basic aspects of your character are marked out first before you go into developing any of them more in depth. This is a method that you want to take because a lot of the time, everything you're doing with your character feeds off of each other. So for example, your physical appearance might play a role in your personality or vice versa, or your character's personality might affect their goals and their motivations. So once you have all your basics mapped out, then you can go more in depth and make sure that your character is developed completely. Step 1. Character role. So what kind of role does your character have in the story? Are they the protagonist, the antagonist, the love interest, the comedic relief? It's important that you know your character role. This might even change from the beginning to the end of the story. In essence, a character's role is the job they perform throughout the story. And because the job might change based on need, the role might also change. So as you're developing character role, it's important to know the kinds of steps that your character is going to take, any major actions that they might do, or any events that might happen to them, because this might change the way that they act in the story and the role they play. Step 2. Goals and motivations. What do they want and why? For a lot of characters, this might be love, power, to rescue something, or to prevent something from happening. Another part of character goals is instead of what they want to achieve, what they might want to avoid. This can be things like death, some sort of punishment, or something along those lines that your character just does not want to experience. What motivates your character to do better? Maybe it's a love interest, maybe it's their sibling, maybe it's something material, or maybe it's just themselves. But it's important to know what drives your character forward, because then this can help you figure out what they're working for and why. Now on the other hand, what demotivates them? What keeps them from wanting to achieve their goals? Maybe this is some sort of internal conflict, or some sort of threat that might manifest itself if your character achieves what they're working for. Step 3. Physical appearance. This one's probably a given, but if you know what your character looks like, even at the most basic level, it helps you paint a clearer picture of your character in your head and you can write them more vividly. So this includes things like their hair color, their eye color, their ethnicity, how tall they are, their weight, things like that. It might also extend so far as to include their fashion sense, the way that they dress, the things that they carry with them, any sort of distinguishing features like that. Which brings us to step 4. Personality. I included this one last, because your personality is often something that you want to develop around your character's goals and motivations and their role in the story. For example, if your character is the protagonist and they need the audience on their side, it probably won't help your case if they're stubborn, rude, and malicious all of the time. However, those would be good traits for antagonists, and this is something to consider when you're developing your characters. Now it's important, even when you're at the basic level, that your characters are developed fully. This means that you want to have positive and negative personality traits, so that your character doesn't just come off as being completely good or completely bad. But when you're adding these traits, you want to think about balance, because in real life, most people end up having a mix of positive and negative personality traits. An important part of personality is how they react to and display their emotions. It's important that you have this developed, especially for your main characters, because it can vary from character to character, and usually it should. And lastly, we come to our likes, dislikes, and hobbies. These are all the things that define your character as a person. But the more that you know about your character, the more your character can jump off the page the way that we usually want it to. This is about all that I have for today. If you have any follow-up questions or any comments, be sure to leave them below or on my blog over at Sunny D Writes. Until next time, happy writing!